Is this all about reaching that market cap milestone so Elon Musk gets that huge payday, Ed? Is that the cynical way of looking at this?
A lot of people have hypothesized that's what it is. I mean, what I've reported, what we know from sources very close to this, is that there is an element of structure here. In a more boring sense, on the engineering side, deeper vertical integration between a number of companies that are kind of already work together. But I had it put to me pretty plainly that like Elon Musk would become, of course, the single largest shareholder of a very large entity. Also in the story, though, is again citing sources, there's going to have to be some kind of structure to a deal. So these are two distinct things, right? Private SpaceX merging and combining with public Tesla. Separately, the idea of private SpaceX combining with private xAI. In both cases, we are told there's an element of financing that needs to go on here. And, certainly sovereign wealth money from the Gulf could play a part in that.
Ed, an incredible exclusive by you and Dinesh Nair, Lauren Grush, and Kyle Porter. Why is this happening now? Why now?
Yeah, I don't know that it is just happening now. I mean, One thing I would say, this idea of Tesla and SpaceX combining has been hypothesized by people in the public domain, specifically Bill Ackman and Chamath Palihapitiya. And they have argued on social media why they think that that's the case. The new bit, what we're reporting is that these talks are taking place between the parties, between the companies. And, I think those talks have been ongoing a little while, actually. Why is it happening now? Well, the quite obvious question is, hold on, didn't you guys report that SpaceX is going to do a big IPO in the middle of this year? We did, yeah. So there is some unanswered things, for example, the chronology of events in either scenario taking place.
Yeah, it really complicates things a little bit in terms of at least the structural future of these companies. Is there an actual business case to be made here?
Well, also don't forget, just this week, one of the pieces of news that we did on the show, guys, right, was that Tesla has made an equity investment in xAI. It was disclosed this Wednesday. It's a $2 billion investment. And we broke that story last summer that SpaceX had already made an investment in xAI as well. So there's financial linkage between these already. But it's just a well-documented thing that, like, there are engineers that working at Tesla that have also worked on SpaceX projects. xAI is a big buyer of Tesla's energy storage products. But really, what we're trying to get to Tim's original question, which is this the future where we have this kind of conglomerate underneath Elon Musk that kind of all pulls together for a shared common cause?
Ed, the week that was, it was a crazy week, to say the least. You know it. You guys did the show on Bloomberg Tech leading up to the earnings, and then you were here with us. Long days. Yeah. On this Friday, look back, your takeaway on what we saw.
Yeah, it's interesting because, like, a lot of the things that we discussed in advance came true. And then I heard you talking to Mark about Apple. I was trying to give such a powerful response that I too could break the internet and freeze, and just like our structure couldn't deal with it.
Sometimes it happens.
I couldn't deal with that. Memory right now is a big thing. For Apple, it was a big thing. We said it would come up, and it did. And they managed it in the quarter gone, and they said it will impact margins in the quarter to come. We expected that. We said that Microsoft would live and die by the balance of its capital expenditures against very high expectations for Azure growth, and it didn't meet those expectations of Azure growth, and look at the difficult week it's had. So that was kind of interesting. At least the market's consistent in that sense.